Maybe you're somewhere. Maybe you're somewhere in the fog of the middle. There's some fogginess, or maybe you're even quietly planning a transition that only your creator and your notebook, right, know about. I just want to say to you that you are in the very, very right room, right? This space was crafted just for you, right? It was crafted so you can gain clarity. It was crafted so that you can recalibrate. And what a better time to recalibrate than the last month of the year 2025 as we get into 2026, right? So whether it's about that quiet, persistent question that follows a lot of young professionals, the questions like, what exactly am I doing in my career, right? This person is making that progress. This person has achieved this. What exactly am I doing? Or why does it feel like my global positioning system, my career map just keeps recalculating. You know when it is you're driving somewhere, you don't really know the way, and then you clock in the address or you input the address into Google Map, and then you miss a turn, and then it recalculates, and then brings you back onto the path, right, for the destination. So this is that program for you where you recalibrate, right? So today I want to say to you that we're going to help you bridge that gap between where you are and who you are becoming or where you are becoming. All right. So, as a matter of engagement, right? This is going to be a very engaging session. It's not just going to be just talk, right? I like interactions. I like a lively room, and I believe that I'm dealing with quite a number of young people. So before we begin, I just like to ask a couple questions. And I'm sure that you could make use of the icon button, right? In the with the Zoom link, right? So the first question I'm going to ask is this, and I'd like you to just quickly drop your hands because I need to know the kind of people we are in the room together with today. So, how many of us has had to change our career direction at least once? How many of us you've had to change your career direction at least once? It could be twice, it could be three times, but at least once. You could use the chat room as well if that's great for you. Oh, I've seen one hand. Okay, I see another hand. Oluwapalumi. I see Omogbe. Okay, nice. Two people, just two people. I've had to change their car. Okay, Matt. I see Matt. Oh, I see. Oh, lots. Interesting. I see Idris. I see Oluwafemi. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to be even a massive change. Imagine changing career from no offenses meant. No offenses meant. Imagining career from oh Latifa from Lagos here. Thank you. Imagining career from a car engineer to a fashion engineer, if anything like that exists. But right, I believe yeah, a lot of people say they have changed their career direction at least once. Okay, and let me ask the next question. How many of you have thought about changing your career, right? But you don't know how to explain it to the people that matter in your life. You probably don't know how to explain it to your parents, or you don't know how to explain it to your friends, or you don't know how to explain it to your mentor. Imagine saying that waking up at 5 a.m. Oh, lawal, oh, nice. Imagine a banker that wakes up at 4 a.m. every day, Oluwatosin, that lives somewhere in Mowe and has to go to the island every morning, and then there's traffic and all of that. And at some point, you're like, fellow, yes, my life cannot continue like this. I need to start doing something remotely. And you are thinking, hope they will not say I've started doing Yahoo Yahoo because I'm doing remote work, right? You don't know how to explain it to the people that matter the most in your life, right? Okay, so now let me ask the last question. How many of us are trying to figure out what this direction even is? Like, what's this change even like? Right? What's this direction? You are still, and you're even still trying to figure it. How many of us are in that category? Do I have hands? Do I have hands? Do I have hands? You're still in that. Okay, Lawal Okpe, you've had a lot of changes, so I feel for you right now. But yeah, well, now this is it. um, this is it, right? I'm excited that you are all in this room, and you know the reason why. It's very clear that no one in here is alone, right? Career journeys may be personal, but permit me to say this: confusion sometimes is communal. That is to say, you're not alone. So the world is not against you, right? Situations are not against you. You just need to gain a sense of direction. You just need to get clarity. And that's why we're gathered here together today, all right? To gain that sense of direction. And so we've thought this out properly. We believe that we have something that can help you gain some traction. And that's why we pulled together the amazing set of speakers that we have today. And I promise you, ah, you'll gain clarity, you'll gain courage, right? Clarity to understand where it is you are, where it is you're going, and where it is you need to become. You get all of that clarity that I'm setting off. In addition to that, right, you get insight, right? And so to take us further in today's meeting is none other than the convener of CareerBridge. He's an amazing professional, and if there's anyone I know has gained some level of speed career wise, if there's anyone I know who has grown career wise, and permit me to say, I'm sure he's not going to be unhappy I'm saying this, who you cannot really say, oh, came out with a first class, right, or a 2-1, but has worked in some of the top organizations in Nigeria and worked with some of the top organizations in Nigeria across the various categories or industries. This person, I'm sure, has got that experience, and in some of our meetings and conversations about this, he's excited at having to pour out the experience he has gathered, the insight he has gained, to share it with, not one, not two, tens of thousands of people, right, to help them gain the same speed he has gained in his career. And so I just like you to, pump your most favorite emoji in the chat room on the screen as I make welcome the convener of CareerBridge, our lead pastor at the Chosen Breed Church, Akin Akinsulire. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, Once again, good to have you here. Thank you for joining us today. As he rightly noted, this is the very first edition of this particular program that we're launching. And the goal of the program itself is to really equip and empower as many young people across Nigeria, another part of Africa that are privileged to be a part of this, with the resources, the skills, the connection, and most importantly, the tailored support that they need to be able to accelerate their career. And that's why we're doing this. And I'm not going to be speaking so much today. I'm going to be, giving room for her amazing speakers that we invited to really be, a part of this. And I think I'll get a chance to share a bit of my, a bit of my story by the time I'm taking my session. But to just help you understand how important, this is to us, Nigeria is heading towards, 2030. The estimation is that by, 2050, we'll probably have, a population of over 500 million people, right? And out of that 500 million people, at that time, maybe we'll have about, 80% of those people being, young people. Right. So the implication is that we also need to start equipping ourselves to start building, stronger economy that is better, for the future you and the future of our children as well. We need to get to a point where we are able to take charge of how in realities, and you can't take charge of your realities if you are not equipped or empowered. It starts with building career. From building successful career, it's easier to pivot to building, a successful business. We are in a country where the odds are kind of stacked against you. If you decide from the get-go that you want to be an entrepreneur, a lot is required, a lot is needed, which you don't have. We don't have enough systems to really equip and groom people for. The best way to still be successful, either as an entrepreneur or as a professional in a career path, is still to go through the route of starting out in the right place, building a career, but most importantly, being connected to a network that is providing that, support to you in terms of the skills, in terms of, the kind of mindset that you need to build in order to be very, very successful. And that's what this is about. And I think the emphasis is really on the support group, right? Beyond the sessions that we have, the fact that there is a support group being curated to enable you, to ask your questions, to connect with mentors, to connect with coaches, to have access to opportunities. I think that's really, really the big game. And what we'll be experiencing today is just one of the, many sessions that we're going to be having with experts and mentors that will be providing guidance, as we go on this journey. So I'm extremely excited that we're kicking this off, and so is our speakers. And I want to say a big shout out to, Emmanuel Tarfa. I call him my boss. You know, Emmanuel used to be a senior at, one of the firms where I once worked, and he left there to set up his practice. We've seen his bio. You're going to be learning a lot more from it, and now he's doing amazing stuff. He has a great startup that is also built, that is backed by Mastercard Foundation, and supported by CCUP as well. He's going to be telling you a whole lot that, he's going to be sharing around how you can accelerate your career with some specific skills that you need to learn. And thank you also, Temi Olaniyan, for joining the session. Temi is amazing. She just did the very first data protection summit, in Nigeria. She's founded a company called DataVerse Solutions in Silicon Valley in the US. And proud to that, she's built, great career working with Meta, former Facebook, Deloitte. As a matter of fact, she was a data protection leader, in Meta before she founded her company. So these are people with great experience that I can tell you firsthand have experienced acceleration in their career path, and today they'll be sharing their thoughts with us. So please sit down and relax with your notes, and please pay rapt attention as we get through all of those sessions. There is a there is a quick survey that we want you to respond to. I don't know if you want to launch that or if I'm able to launch that, but there's a quick survey we'd like you to respond to, just to share a bit around where you are and maybe some of your expectation, for this call today. But like I mentioned, you're in for a great time, and we're hoping that this will really be of, immense value to you. Thank you so much. Looking forward to, engaging you during my own session. So I'm going to be passing the mic back to Hola. Over to you.
All right, all right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that insightful welcome address. All right. So yeah, it's about time for our first speaker. Wow. I myself am pumped up for this, right? Because I know that it's going to be life changing. It's going to be impactful. I've listened to Emmanuel Tarfa speak a couple of times, and each time he speaks, there are some people you listen to, instead of gaining clarity, you are more confused. Not with Emmanuel Tarfa. He breaks it down to the simplest of terms, takes you as far back as when you were doing maths and English in the primary school, even secondary school. He helps you get the concept of what it is he's trying to share. And I'm sure that you will gain valuable insights that will give you speed on not just your career journey, but for your life's journey. So, ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not too busy, I mean your digital hands, of course, right? And I'd just like for some, if you could turn on your videos as well as tell us where it is you're joining from in Lagos, I think that would be super amazing, right? So, if your digital hands are not too busy, if you can turn on your videos as well, so I see the beautiful faces, handsome faces as well that are joining on this call. Please, let's make welcome. Oh yeah, testimony. Thank you very much. Let's make welcome Mr. Emmanuel Tarfa for the first session today. You want to mute your mics too and do some wowing. Welcome, Mr. Emmanuel. Take it away, please.
Thank you, everyone. I really want to thank the organizers of this event for the opportunity to do this. I have 20 minutes. I want to set the time. I don't know if I should be disclosing my sponsors, but I would like to especially thank Pastor Akinsulire. Sorry, your son. Well, Pastor Akin, please bear with me. I'm not a Yoruba man, so bear with me. But thank you for your warm invitation. Thank you to Elisimos. And thank you to the organizing teams, committees, and everyone who has put this together. I have 20 minutes, and my start My clock starts counting now. Thank you for the privilege to be the first speaker. It means if I steal time, it's not my luck. Anyway, I'm just kidding. That's to get your reaction to make sure you're listening to me. So I'm going to run straight into my slides. I like to set some context. And the context is thus. Let me have a backup device so that I can listen to myself and just be sure. Okay, so where I know we probably have a mixed multitude, and I understand that mixed multitude means people with different, requirements, desires, and so on. So what I would do is, and I've learned to do this in my public speaking career, when they invite you to speak, you have a short time. Don't try and dish out everything. This is not the last time they will hear from you. They will probably follow you on YouTube, Instagram, and when they put together all your messages and and communication, it will turn into a block of thought. But for this session, I want to leave you with something that will carry you into 2026, and it will be based on my experience and my own personal assessment and study. I don't like to throw my profile around. Sometimes even I'm like, what does it mean, I beg? It's not as if you have a Range Rover parked outside yet. But the idea is I have data. So I'm like a school teacher. A primary school teacher has seen through sets of people. So he knows the students that went ahead to do this and do that. And by the way, if you're a school teacher, you can earn much more being strategic and some of the things I would say. This is not your session, but be open-minded, right? So I have data. Now, here is the scenario in the world today. There is a lot of information. If you saw my status, I have another speaking engagement tomorrow. So you hear me today, hear me tomorrow. Before you blink, your pastor has released one. Before you blink, another one has released one. You are inundated with information. And that is making us to drown in like people are starving in the midst of plenty, right? So I always start from that to explain that it's tough in our parents' time. Maybe they had one library in their community, 2 or 3 lecturers, 4 or 5 books, 5 or 6 VHS videos, Sound of Music, Mozart. It has finished. And 1 or 2 documentaries that they found and they are treasuring, that they watched 100 times. But this little knowledge, their English is sound, their critical thinking is great. I mean, they can think, they speak better English than us. But we have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. You can see my screen. Your tenses are mixed up. Subject verb agreement, KOSI. Proposal writing, KOSI, which is letter writing that they taught you in secondary school. I know Elias was talking about that. Simple analytical thinking. It takes a man 5 days to farm a plot of land. How long will it take 2 people to farm the same plot of land? That's for HR professional who was told that they are scaling their business. We had a factory that makes garments or fashion design. We have 5 tailors. We want to move to a bigger factory to do. How many tailors do we need to meet the demand of the new customer we've acquired? Is your common, not common entrance. Why question now? 5 days to farm a plot of land, one person. But there's multiplier effect. Apply critical thinking and said it's not directly proportional. There may be a multiplier effect because 10 tailors will now mean some people can focus on cutting, arranging, these kinds of things. But this is what is missing, and I want to talk about that within my 20 minutes. So look at all this stuff. All these guys, their valuation is determined by your attention. All these guys, their valuation is tied to your distraction. Well, I won't use the word distraction, to your attention, because some people don't use it for distraction. Some people use it effectively. So we have some stuff going on. Apple alone has 1 million podcasts. I've not added YouTube. I've not added Coursera. I've not added Udemy. I've not added Kryptr. I've not added whatever else there is free and will continue to be free. So what's the excuse? The excuse is what I want to discuss today. The lack of clarity and structure. So watch this. Some of you know this is my presentation. Please bear with me. Comes by hearing and hearing. That's how you become. Desk, scanner, Flash, Adobe. Look at this. This doesn't mean anything. This is how information hits us. Emmanuel Tarfa has come. He has talked about something. Bam, desk. Akin has come, has about scanner. Somebody has come, Adobe. So you're just working with things thrown at you, too much information. And there's nothing wrong with that, please. Let me clarify that. Nothing wrong with listening to different sources. But I want to deliver someone today and put you on a path to an accelerated career path. Boom. That same information. Look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What changed? Some people are already doing the math. They already know. Something changed. Number 1, purpose. Purpose came to the top of the chart. And because it came to the top of the chart, it organized structure. After it organized structure, then activities followed. You know the challenge with most of us. This is where we're operating at the level of activity. So we're everywhere, but we're not becoming anything. And I want to say this as polite and as respectful as possible. I'm not here to insult anyone's intelligence or to make you feel bad. I'm just diagnosing a problem. Please, okay, don't be offended, and I do apologize. I'm not a critical speaker. Neither am I a motivational speaker, respectfully. But you're loaded with activities. But there's no structure and there's no purpose. Now, this concept is called mutual exclusive, collectively exhaustive. You can Google it and learn about it. But please pay attention to what I call levels of abstraction. Level 1, where the main vision, goal, objective is set. What do I want to become? Now, there are instances where people say, I sincerely do not know what I want to become. And that's totally fine. It's a good place to be. Don't let anyone deceive you and say you're like, it's a good place to be, because it means you're malleable and you can get up one day and walk in the direction of prosperity. Okay? I don't have time to talk about my own story. I stumbled into consulting. I did not even know management consulting existed as at the time I was leaving university. It was just my sacrifices that God remembered and had mercy on me. And it led me to a career path in consulting. Because if I were to go and start choosing what I wanted, I would have gone off track. Okay? Level 2, structure, sub-objectives, or another level of objectives, categories, boundaries. In other words, this webinar is not for me. No, not this one. Not this one you're on. This one is for you, definitely. That one is not mine. I mean, one young guy, 400 level, just finished, is waiting for NYC, has already organized webinar, and what does he know? I mean, maybe God gave him wisdom like Samuel. Possibly. We don't know. But beyond that, you have to be able to put your boundaries around what you're learning. You know what? I only listen to four key speakers for the next 1 year. The reason is I want to immerse myself until I begin to think, reason, and behave like them. That thought that says meditate on it day and night is literal. It's not only applicable to where it came from, it's also applicable to if you took a book, the biography of Steve Jobs, and you read it 4 or 5 times, you start thinking like Steve Jobs. Do you understand? But what we do is we're in a race to finish 10 books this year, 20 books this year. You haven't moved forward. Someone can say, I'm only reading 2 or 3 books this year. Why are you rushing? You're just 20. You have a whole life ahead of you. So you can read 10 books in a one a month. That's 10 in a 10 in a year. If it's even too much, you can read 4 in a year, 1 every quarter. Take your time, read it 2, 3 times. But if you plot it over 10, 20 years of your life, you have read almost 30 books. But what you will become from those 30 books is what you actually need. You don't need all the information. I don't know if you're following where I'm going. What directs you is purpose. Then structure that sets boundaries. Then you can start running around to fill up the gaps with activities, initiatives, and so on and so forth. What you're doing in this meeting is an initiative. You're following the conference. It's an activity. You attended the webinar. Now let's move quickly. This is how most of us are interacting with life. I'm taking professional courses. I came up with an interesting business idea. Got a call from managers. I have an enticing job opportunity. Started a business with some friends. Why are rich athletes and politicians attracted to me? Maybe this for a lady. I think I have a great job. I think I'll make a great model for the runway. Are you following me? So this is bottom up. A lot of activity, things are going on in your life, but you cannot really place your hand on what is going on. Someone is offering me money to start a business. So this type of dichotomy creates a lot of challenges, headache for young people. But here are the things that are missing. What is my vision, right? How, like, to what end do I want to be? Like, what do I want to become in 10 years? Okay. So some people are able to put that first, determine it. Some people cannot determine it. But I want to talk to those which are mostly the majority, who may not know. And their life is happening to them the way I introduced these slides. I don't have much time, so I need to. You can see the weights, they're coming in. But this is what is missing. What is purpose of my life? Now, if you say I don't know the purpose, no problem. If you don't know the purpose, I will show you how purpose can be derived. Now, please follow me. Look at everything, because if you're learning and building a career outside of purpose, it will be great, but it will not be strategic or impactful. So the missing link is what I'm here to discuss. And what is that? My next slide. Please, I hope I'm not losing you. I'm explaining structure. Purpose, I told you about purpose. I added the concept of vision. Vision sits under purpose, and it's sort of smart. For me, I define my vision. It should be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Purpose is why you live. It can transcend you. Then all these other ones is what? Activities. MSc, this one, certification. They're all packed in there. There are some certifications I've not even blinked or bothered. Not because I'm proud. It will not add anything to me. It will just distract me. The small one I know, let them be using now and call me to come and be doing public speaking. Plus the startup we're working on. Look at the answer. Boom. Mission. Please follow my channel. There's a lot of information, but follow me. A, my mission is to change the narrative about the women in my village. You're on this call, you're from Abia State. In your village, women are having challenges, they're marginalized, blah, blah, blah. You say, my grandmother suffered, my mother suffered. I'm going to change the narrative of the women in my village. That's your purpose. It's a beautiful purpose. And let me talk to people here. If everybody took a purpose at that level if everybody took a niche purpose at that level, guys, are you with me? We'll all fix the world. The reason why the world is broken is that people are out of purpose everywhere. For those who want to know. And it's a man's world, right? We rule the world, and it's this side of it. There's heaven, it's not our domain. This is our domain. So the issue is somebody doesn't know that her job is to transform the women in so and so local government, so and so village, Abia State. If she focuses on that, boom, she has sorted that problem. She will inspire another person to do the same in Bayelsa, the same. You get what I mean? So because of that purpose, she now has a vision that to do that, I want to be worth $10 million in the next 10 years. B, you see how vision came out of that. So our money is not money misroad. It's not empty ambition. Then based on that, she now has 3 options. I wish I had time to separate this slide so it comes in like animation. Look at this. Number 1, she has the option of A1, get a great education and a great job. A2, start a business and make it successful. A3, she should just go and marry a prince. Full stop, and inherit the money. And I'm not insulting anyone. I'm serious. Follow my chain of thought. You will see the wisdom in it. Because you think the world is ruled by people that do strategy. You know how many people built their lives like this? Arrange themselves, marry prince, and cashed out. Yeah, you're doing certification. Okay, no. And then there's nothing wrong with that. Please, I'm just kidding, just to get your attention. But to let you know that you should be open-minded. Esther fell to this path. If you want to feel insecure, go and follow Esther in history. If you don't know Esther, go and Google it. Queen Esther. That was her path, and she delivered, saved lives. So I think I made my point if you are still doubting me. Now, look at the options for great job. Choose a career in a high demand area. I'm sure the other speakers will talk about that. 2, meet all successful requirements, school and performance, deliver. First class, whatever you need to do. 3, target great companies and rise to executive director level. You probably worth $10 million. Become executive director of Microsoft, you'll be okay. Kryptr in future, and whichever companies that represent that, the DataVerse, and so on and so forth, you'll be okay. This is activity. But have you seen how the activity is tied to the great job and how that is tied to a vision and that how it's tied to a purpose. Good. 2, start a business, define the business idea, raise funding, hire a great team, and then build a great product and scale. That's another path. So when you see entrepreneurs, you know, because it's just to cash out. It's because I want to say do women in my village. Then the third one, marry a prince. She says, go to Royal Etiquette Training School, a school where they train people for Royal Etiquette School. Target agencies that service the top royal families in the world. You know, royal families, they need staff too. You don't know that. Even though their staff stay long, they don't change anyhow. But you say, no, 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 target this royal family. Become an exceptional staff. And one day, just go and mistakenly pour tea on the prince. Ah, what's this? He now notice you. From there. What do you think? How is that different from going on LinkedIn to go and post your status? Are we all not trying to be noticed? So we are laughing. Okay, we'll be feeling spiritual there. I'm telling you my own. If you like, do it yourself. Anyway, tactical details. But have you seen the connection between what people are running around to do? But a lot of us are running around, no structure. This is the structure, which is strategy. But hold on, she can't do all three. Now, I'm not here to teach strategic thinking, which but she can teach. She can pick. She can go chronologically. She do education, start business, and pursue a prince. She can just pick one thing and focus on it. This is prince in and out. You know what will happen with that kind of focus? She may not end up with a prince, but she may end up with a movie star. She may end up with a celebrity. She may end up with a top golfer, a sports athlete, or politician and become the first lady of the United States. Do you understand? Now, I'm not here to insult. Please, again, I'm repeating myself. I'm just opening your head to how to keep your mind open. Why did she pick the option of prince? Number one, she's tall, blonde, and beautiful. SWOT analysis. She doesn't like book. She doesn't like business. Her parents are poor. I beg, I can't deal. This one I have, and I use it to my advantage. Okay, let's leave the prince. Education. Some of you here, your parents have already kept your money for a master's to forever. If you need it, if it ties to your purpose, if not, you say, mommy and daddy, let me hold it. I'll use it as an ace later on. Or give me the money, let me use it and start business. Are we together? And even if business fails, it's a better MBA. Don't worry. What you come out with, that kind of knowledge you come out with, you'll be okay. All right? My type is fast approaching. Wow. Here is the recommendation. And I'll move to the issues of the day very quickly. I won't have time, but I'll share these slides with you. There's a version I'll share with the team. They can forward it. What to do in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. But I won't because of time. But here's what I want to focus on. This is quickly what I'm going. Now, most times, right? Please don't worry. This is just animation. Don't worry about it. Just focus, please. I'm rounding up now, so I need you to pay attention. Now, the most critical success factors within your control is personal development. Now, when they said skills that help to scale, I'm currently doing some work, that in collaboration with so the work is with a government agency, and the government agency is working with they're working with the World Economic Forum. So one of the things that I saw that was very interesting in the analysis they did is there's something they called the forces that impact, people's career, how people develop from education to employment and so on. And one thing they highlighted was what they call lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is a term that you will hear more often, but lifelong learning for me apparently is embedded in something that we've often overlooked, and it's called personal development. Now, I am an advocate of you take responsibility for your own development. And one of the groups of people that I know that have done extremely well in these areas, and I'm sorry to put it to go religious, is pastors. You see a pastor, he doesn't have MSc, doesn't have anything like that, but he's schooling everybody else. Apart from the fact that he has the Spirit of God, which we do also have, so nobody should hear, and no disrespect to that, is they have the time to personally develop themselves and the discipline to insist that they can stay off distractions. After all, they're always fasting. LOL. But where I'm really going is, I'm just trying to get your attention. Please ignore my jokes. It is that you have to take control of the content that enters your head in a systematic, organized way that gets you the result you want. After sorting the problems I described above, purpose, vision, and your structure. So what do you do? Here are my 4 primary recommendations. Number 1, There are some books you must finish on your path to prosperity. I'll speak to 3 groups of people. My time is up. My alarm has gone. So I'm going to just round up in about 2 minutes. And I want to keep the times because there are other speakers and so on. So 2 minutes, putting the alarm on 2 minutes. So there are books to finish, right? And I'm going to send the material to you, so don't worry. I'm also maximizing my time strategically by not saying what you will read. But I want to explain the spirit of my message. There are books you must finish. The problem is you are reading books that are too skewed to a particular direction. Novels, non-fiction. It's okay, but it has to be balanced. Otherwise, you have intellectual kwashoko. Some of you are reading books that your mentor is reading. How can you read the same book I'm reading? You are just starting your career. Go and read how to write proposals. Go and read basic English. Go and read proposal writing. Go and read SWOT analysis. That's what you should be reading. Not dragging books with spiritual books. No, there's nothing wrong, but balance it. You're too skewed in a particular direction. Second, carefully curated library of free online sources. I told you Apple has 1 million podcasts. YouTube has over 1 billion, maybe 150, 200 million educational videos. You can learn how to do financial modeling, data analysis, strategic thinking, problem solving. Even if you still pay for the premium one in Kryptr or DataVerse or wherever, you will still at least have the foundation that you have built on your own on YouTube before you go on. Third group is what we call carefully find and religiously follow mentors. This is where a lot of young people are failing. I repeat, this is where a lot of young people are failing. I repeat, this is where they don't have the etiquette of dealing with mentors, so they cannot have a transfer of spirit from Elijah to Elisha because they don't get it. Men of God also get that very well. That's one of their secrets. I'm not saying you should go and become a stooge or a servant. Mentor means non-celebrity. I say this everywhere I go. He's one guy in accounting, in one multinational. Nobody knows him. Doesn't come out on flyers like myself and Akin and Co. But the guy understands financial modeling like the back of his head. He understands finance. And he can help you, struggling accountant in that startup or that SME, to come up to speed, even with the certification, even without your certification, and become sound and move your career forward. You didn't know you are despising him because he's not on flyer. Meanwhile, pack wine, pack something, go to his house, sit down there on Sunday afternoon, and he will point you because he doesn't have a platform. They are there, they're all over the place, and they're not on social media. Their LinkedIn profile is dead. Last one, practice, practice, practice. So this is the classic case where people are presented opportunities and they start making excuses and excuses. Any opportunity that is thrown at you, chase opportunity. They said, Kiniko, I will do it. I will do it. And you figure it out. When you start to record such challenges, lion, bear, Goliath, that's your transition to become a king. Ladies and gentlemen, I will share this slide. There's much more. But I just wanted to expose you to the concept of personal development. Now, I said it clear that there's more knowledge and understanding. So I'm not going to teach you anything new. The other speakers will address that. I already picked my position. I want to focus on the concept of lifelong learning. So when they say adaptability, critical thinking, problem solving, they're all over the place, whether in paid or unpaid versions. But what you need is structure and a clear sense of direction to build your personal development plan. Still follow me online. I'm trying to see if I can come up with a personal development plan template for 2026 and share it publicly, even do a video on it so that I can encourage people to build their own regimented plan so that at the end of 2026, by the grace of God, God willing, people can look back and say, I achieved 40, 60% of my personal development goals. Thank you for listening, and I appreciate the opportunity to be with you. Cheers.
Wow. Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Emmanuel Tarfa. Do I have people who have, gained some truckload, chunky insight that, is going to set you on the path for clarity, on the path for purpose, on the path where you're discovering your mission and you're pursuing it intently and intensely. Do you want to just, in the chat room, like I said the other time, if your digital hands are not too busy, do you want to jam your hands together? And I appreciate Mr. Emmanuel Tarfa. So I know you have questions. I want to believe that you have questions brewing in your mind already from this session. I'd just like to ask you to begin to note those questions down. We're going to have a panel session that will be moderated by our convener. At that time, you will have the opportunity to ask those questions and get answers to them. All right, let's move swiftly. Right, we still have another packed session to have just in a moment. How many of us are excited so far? Do you feel like you're getting value for your time already? Can I see the comments? Can I see the comments if you're getting value for your time already? All right. Okay, so let's move. Our next speaker is an amazing woman, right? She's audacious, she's bold. Temi Olaniyan is a data privacy leader and the convener of the foremost global data protection tech summit. Her career is marked by a rapid ascent from technical roles to a global industry authority on bridging innovation with data protection, right? Temi's accelerated career path includes impactful tenures at Deloitte and Meta, Facebook, right? Where she led major privacy programs and shaped compliance strategies for numerous products. So how it is that your data is managed on Facebook, how you are protected as far as data is concerned. She was a major leader in all of that. Now, as the managing partner at DataVerse Solutions, she directs a 50-member team driving enterprise-wide adoption of data protection policies, and her leadership has resulted in a 30% reduction in data breach incidents and achieving 99.9% global data protection regulation compliance. Ladies and gentlemen, we're excited to have Miss Temi Olaniyan in the room, and I'm sure she's going to dish out to you something really amazing that changes your life. And she'll be speaking very shortly on the subject, the hidden gold mine, underrated skills with massive upside globally. Once again, let's make welcome Miss Temi Olaniyan. Such a privilege to have you in the room, ma'am.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Very wonderful introduction. Thank you for that. I've been having an amazing time here. I want to start by thanking my brother, Akin. Thank you for bringing me up here. I'm very excited to be here. These are the types of gathering that I like, specifically because this is something I am extremely passionate about. So thank you for inviting me. And this program has been amazing. Should I call you compare? You've been doing an amazing job with the icebreakers, and I love how you started the questioning from the beginning. I'm going to take cue from that to how I continued my discussion. And what an amazing session we just had. I was here just like on top of my seat. Like that was amazing, 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 amazing. I would go back, listen to that multiple times, go grab, everything I need to grab from that to make sure I'm making the best of it. All right. My assignment is very simple today. I'm not going to take too much of time. I'm going to go straight to it. Let me just by show of hands. I know that we already did like some sort of like, and I love what our coordinator was doing at the beginning. Is everyone here in career, or are there people in business? So with just a show of hand, how many people are currently on a career path? Just by a show of hands. I just want to, get a sense of the audience. How many people here on a specific career path? Awesome. And Oluwapo, I see you. Thank you. Oluwafemi testimony. I see you. Lawal. Fantastic. Marianne. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much. Yes. Kachi, I see you there. Amazing. Amazing. How many people are in business? Are there people in business here already? There are people already moving the entrepreneurial route? I don't think I see. Okay, Oluwapo. Okay, I love that. You have a hybrid approach. Very, very fantastic. I love it. I see Hannah as well. Fantastic, fantastic. All right. So today, my topic of discussion is going to be around building skills that can differentiate you in the market. And I'm going to be, hopefully I can share my screen. Okay, yeah, I think I'm able to share my screen. Fantastic. So I'm going to be, just walking you through what we're calling the hidden gold mine, some underrated skills that today people aren't necessarily focused on, but are really the gold mine. That's where the gold is. So first of all, did anyone watch, the Gen Zs in the room might not know this, but there was a video that used to trend a long time ago. I think it was Fowles that recorded that funny video where he was acting as a dad. And then he had told his son that, his son had to choose a certain career path. And I think the son said they wanted to go music, in the music direction. And then he was like, never, you must read medicine. And in that particular skit, he was like, you have to read doctor to become a doctor, and I think in our world today, like especially in Nigeria, if you're in Nigerian families, except maybe, you have different types of parents that are not your typical African parents. Most parents, want you to go do engineering, law. Even you, when you are going to school, the things that you have in mind are all these big courses. You want to read engineering, you want to read law, you want to do accounting. Everybody wants to go in that direction so that when they introduce you, barrister XYZ or doctor, we all love titles. And that's good. By the way, I have an engineering background, so don't think I'm being biased on those who are engineers. But the truth of the matter is, what you should know is that today, organizations are moving from degrees to skills. Because what some of you already know this, that your degree doesn't translate into value automatically. Just because you went to school and spent 5-6 years studying a program doesn't mean you're able to add a value to an organization or even to a business or even to anything at all. And I think that's becoming the biggest trend. Many of these large organizations, in fact, have had to spend millions and billions of dollars to train talents that are coming off of school, right? So that tells you a lot. However, we know that life is moving very fast, which means that organizations are looking to upscale and they're looking to work more effectively and efficiently. So what they're going to be looking for in terms of talent are people who have the skills that can drive value and impact for them. It's no longer about, I read computer engineering, therefore hire me. For those of you who've attended interviews, it's what are you able to offer? What value do you bring to the company? And the value, the currency for value in the workplace is really your skill set, because your skill is what ends up adding value to the organization, what ends up adding impact to the organization, and what allows the organization itself to improve effectiveness. So I want you to start thinking about your degree versus the skills that you have, okay? There was, a research that I heard from someone during the week that the validity of a typical degree is 5 years. After 5 years, if you have not upskilled yourself and added value to your degree is not that relevant, regardless the class you came out of. And I think that's pretty obvious. All right. So let's quickly dive into what are some underrated values in today's world. I'm going to be very practical. Now, you know that data privacy had to be the first one because I am in the world of data privacy. Part of the reason why data privacy is the biggest one, and I'll explain that to you in a second here. I think that one of the things our last speaker, Emmanuel, was mentioning was that there is data everywhere. And the reason why there is data is because, obviously, as he was saying, your attention is what's, allowing data to multiply. But ultimately, in a world where we are beginning to subscribe to AI, which just means automation technology, there's a lot of data that's driving these technologies. So when you think about AI is artificial intelligence, which means that there is a machine that's taking in data to replicate what's in the intelligence of a typical human being. So artificial intelligence is not something that's rocket science. Artificial intelligence, everything you see when you type on ChatGPT, it's not just AI. Somebody has put that information out there at some point. So what AI does is that it's taking all of this data and then just refining it because it has processing ability and giving it to you in a way that then could add value for the specific purpose that you're needing it for. So what that means, practically speaking, pragmatically, is that there's going to be a huge use of data. And not just data that's non-personal to you, but data that's personal to you. And what that also reflects is that many of these institutions, regulatory bodies, countries, nations will start putting out regulatory laws in place to make sure that data is being used in an ethical manner. I hope I'm not speaking too much jargon. Give me a thumbs up if you're still following me. So give me a thumbs up if you're still following me. So what that means inherently is that we're going to have a huge need for resources that can help to make sure that these data or this uprise of the use of data is going in the right direction. And that's where data privacy comes in. It is estimated by around the world that by 2035, you will have over 1 million jobs in data privacy. Now, that's a very light estimation. We just hosted a data privacy summit, and the commissioner was, mentioning live that in Nigeria today, based on the projections that they have from the NDPC, we're going to have over 500,000 data privacy jobs in Nigeria. So think about that. You are hearing that AI is going to take people's jobs, but there are some jobs that AI cannot take because they are greenfield areas that would still need human interaction or human intervention. I'm going to run quickly. Compliance and risk operations. Now, risk is a very big deal. Every organization that's making strategic decisions today does that from a risk-based standpoint, which means that they need people with strong risk management expertise to come on board, especially for those of you who are looking to get up to management positions, who are looking to lead, who are looking to transition. Maybe you feel like you're stalling currently in your career and you're kind of thinking about where you might be able to make leadership impact. Risk management is what rules, number one, strategic decision-making in organization. Risk management is what, guides, operational management and prioritization in large organizations. As a matter of fact, people who sit at the realm of affairs in any organization usually have to have a risk-based skill that they're adopting in order to make impact on those boards and on those tables. Very, very important. Now, let's quickly go into product operations. Now, as those of you, especially on social media, what are you seeing today? With AI, we're seeing that there are lots of products that are being created to back AI technology or to adopt. A lot of products are being created because there's a lot of use of AI these days, and a lot of products are being created. So the other day, I saw a product that can literally clone you. You can just record everything you want to say. It will clone your voice, clone your mannerism. It's not all these fake ones that your lips is moving in the wrong direction. And then, your verbal communication is moving in another direction. This one would actually tailor everything. So you don't have to do anything. All you just need to do is upload something. So there's so many applications that are coming out, and many of these large organizations like Google, Amazon, Meta, they are springing up applications every single time because what does this mean in retrospect? How you interact as an individual, as a consumer, how you interact with technologies through products. Okay, you cannot just say you are using AI. It's a product that allows you to use AI. ChatGPT is an application, or if you like, a product. All right. Your app, your phones that you're interacting with today, products on your phones or application is what allows you to interact, whether with hardware or with software. So what that means is that as technology begins, obviously technology is it's already running at a Ferrari speed. So what that means is that products are going to be on a high development scale. And so anyone who understands product operations, whether as a product manager, whether as, a product, somebody who manages product lifecycle management, these are skills that you want to learn. I tell you this thing, I'm telling you from somebody who, worked at Meta, this is an area that if you haven't yet, thought about it, you want to start thinking about it. Now, technical writing is a very big one here. And I saw it as I didn't even know something like this existed until I joined Meta and I started to work with some of these high-end companies. How many engineers are here in the room? Just indulge me. How many engineers are in the room? Anyone? Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna just shade engineers a little bit, and I'm happy to shade you because I'm part of you, right? Engineers are not very good at writing documentations. They just like to create. So if you go to an engineer and tell him, oh, so you just created this product. What is your intake process? What does your product look like? Talk to me about how your product works. They leave the chat room. They left the WhatsApp group. So there's people called technical writers that sit with product managers or software engineers to help document how their product works. And you know the value of this? The value of this is that technical writing, especially for companies that are looking for sponsorship investment, this is where technical writers come in. So you're not just somebody that can work in, large organizations. You can also work in startups. You can propose some of these to them. Technical writing also helps for regulatory laws. Many times when regulators come to your environment and they're looking at your product, your technical write-up is how they evaluate how you're compliant. Okay, so the way I want you to start thinking about all of these skills is that I want you to think about it and start thinking about which one interests you the most. And most importantly, start thinking about how you can pitch. We live in a world where you have an opportunity to go show people the gap in their organization and fill that gap. We're no longer in an era where you're waiting for them to post a job offer and then you try to fit your resume into the job offer. We are in an era where you develop a skill, develop yourself, look for an organization that has that gap. Albeit they might not even have that position open. You go to them and you say, I've looked at your business structure. I've looked at your operational activities. I see that you don't have XYZ role. And then you highlight specifically what you're able to do for them succinctly, highlight the value, highlight the outcome, highlight the milestones, tell them, and then call your price. Hey, I just gave somebody something. That's really good. I just gave somebody something. That's really good. But I'm going to talk about how you initiate that. And then we have cybersecurity and, hygiene. We know that with data, what's happening? If there's when there's plenty of data, somebody needs to protect it, right? Because data is going to be very, very valuable. And what that means is that we're hearing on the news, there are hackers everywhere. Every day you hear it, even Deloitte. Can you imagine? Deloitte got hacked the other day, right? So a lot of organizations are looking for people, and you don't even need to have to know how to code. Okay, so for some of you who are already thinking, all of this is tech. No, you don't have to know how to code to learn most of these things. These are things that you can learn regardless your background. By the way, I should also say to you that I do training for people who are looking to transition. I've seen people who double their salary. I have stories of customer care representatives, somebody who was in customer care before. All he did was to learn one of these skills. Today, he's earning, double the salary that he was earning by proactively reaching out to organizations. All right, so let's move real fast. How do these skills, how can they change your life? These skills have faster global employability. So what that means is that what I'm telling you is not something that's just tailored towards Nigeria. So you're not taking these skills to become a local champion. And I don't mean local champion in how we think about local. I'm talking about like a local national champion, if that makes sense. All right. So you are employable all over the world because every country, UK, US, Japan, everyone needs all of these skills because everyone is adopting technology. All right. There's higher income. Everybody knows that some of these roles, data privacy, risk management, these are the roles that pay the highest. I was at Meta. If you are in the data privacy team, you're earning way higher than most people on other teams. These teams are also the people that they weren't necessarily impacted by massive layoffs. Albeit there were software engineers that were impacted, right? There are remote opportunities for these things. You don't have to work in person. These are not jobs that you have to be there presently. You can work remotely for these roles. And then you have career leverage, right? So what that means is that you don't have to have studied any of these in school. And I'm going to talk to you about how you do it. And you don't need an advanced degree. So what does this look like for you? 30-day action plan, real quick. Number one, choose your skill. You've heard some of these, and these are just a few. Go on ChatGPT. There's so many of them. Choose a skill. Pick one that aligns with your interests, with your goals, with your, with your strength. All right. And I love what, the first speaker was talking about. Start learning. And that's why I really love what he was talking about the organized and coordinated learning. There's so many information online. You can even ask ChatGPT today, curate a 2-week learning plan for me on data protection, on risk management that can make me employable at XYZ company or XYZ industry. I just gave somebody something. Build a portfolio. Start working on projects in that area. Don't wait to get a job. Some of you are waiting on internship. You can be doing personal projects by yourself. You can take on projects. You can go on YouTube, download stuff, work on projects yourself, put it on your resume that you worked on this project. You don't need an internship. All right. And then you go public. Show your work online. If they don't see you, they can hire you. So what that means is when I say you go public, what that means is you're now branding yourself on LinkedIn. So you used to be a customer care representative at the bank. I was talking about the gentleman who just graduated from school, and he came to me, he was like, I'm tired of my customer care job. What can I do? I told him, go get a skill. He got the skill, immediately he got the skill. He started learning, started doing projects, went on his LinkedIn profile. You brand yourself based on what you want to be, not based on where you're coming from. And so he ended up changing his entire LinkedIn profile, removed it from customer care representative, and branded himself as a data privacy professional or a risk management professional, right? And then from there, recruiters started reaching out to him. And that's how he was able to double his salary, all right? So let's talk about practical steps. Choose today what underrated skill you want to do. What can you do in the next 24 hours? What can you start doing? Start creating your learning. Start thinking about what YouTube pages you're going to need to what you may have to pay for a certification. Why not? Pay for a certification, pay for a training, learn it, then get accountability. This one was the one that I was really going to talk about, because I know in Nigeria, like, if you want to do something, don't tell anybody. You will not tell anybody, but you will be there. You are only accountable to yourself. It will die with you. Find a friend, somebody, when I was looking to start the conference that we just hosted in Nigeria with over 1,000 people, both online and in person, I spoke to my brother Akin as an accountability partner. He was the one always checking it. So there was no way for me to say, I'm no more doing this thing again, because I had already committed, right? So find accountability, find somebody that will call you. And if you say you are watching, what movie are you watching on Netflix? They're like, when are you looking to better your life? Go shut down the Netflix and read, right? And then also, once you do that, you want to make sure that you start to commit to a piece of work. Have timelines. Don't just say by 2026, it go better. By 2026, my story will turn. You will say 25 amens, January 31st. You will say it again, January 31st, 2026. Someone said, God forbid. So you have to be very pragmatic about timelines. When I want to change career, it's timelines. The last time I wanted to change people in 2022, I told myself by December 2022, I would not be on this job. These are the things that I want to do. These are the number of applications I want to send. These are the number of, courses I want to read. These are the certifications. This is my strategy. And, there's power in writing things down. I'm glad this is a Christian, gathering as well. We have Christians here, not Christian gathering, but Christians here. Write the vision, make it plain. Put it on your board every day you see it. By December 2021, I'm going to be a product manager. By December 2026, I'm going to be a risk manager. Write it down. Every day you're looking at it is going to strengthen you to take action. That's all I got for you. So I hope this was very helpful for everyone. I hope that you can take action today, identify what those skills are, go get the right training you need, get accountability support, write your vision, make it plain, and then the rest is upwards from there. Thank you, everyone, so much. I appreciate it.
Wow, that felt like, what is this? Guys, do you want to appreciate Miss Temi again? Did you notice the way she was subtly, sharing opportunities, like global career opportunities with us, right? And telling us how to get there, how you could, become a technical writer, how you could pivot your career. Like, thank you so much, man. We're so grateful. All of us who've been, itching and angling for, well, I want to start working remotely. You just got you got your roadmap there, so please take advantage of it, right? I'm sure you have your questions brewing already. But before we get there, maybe I should just share a brief encouragement to someone. This month makes it 6 months. I've been a senior product manager, and this is just for this room. Don't say it anywhere. Don't say I told you. Like, I'm saying this really quietly. I'm whispering right now, right? This is my bedroom voice. As at June of this year, I had not taken a certification as a product manager. But I recall that in March, I told my best friend, my spouse, I said, I'm, I think I'm going to become a product manager sometime in August. Of course, you know the way it is. You start. I was even thinking you start out as a junior product manager, and then you grow. You write certifications. You become maybe an associate and things like that. But guys, guess what? My constantly saying it, my commitment to the process. Guess what? By June 29 thereabout, I just had a conversation with someone. You can chat me later for the inner details. And by July, I landed a senior product manager role in Africa's foremost tech travel company. And I'm saying that because in a few weeks or maybe a couple of months, you begin to hear some amazing stuff about what it is we have built for the industry, right? And it was just about a determination to say, what, you know what, guys, I think I'm right for this. I think I have the capacity to do this. And then I began to position myself. So we have lots and lots of those kind of amazing testimonies, right, in our community. So this is just an invitation for you, right? Because for us at the Chosen Bridge Church, right, we put this together in partnership with the Lace Foundation. Excellence for us is, how do I put it now? Excellence for us is a calling. And influence is a massive responsibility. That is what we are about at the Chosen Bridge Church. We want to build, we want to contribute, we want to enable you, equip you, enable you to have excellence as one of your core values in life and gain significant influence in your industry or wherever it is you decide that you want to become influential, especially as it concerns your life and your career. All right, so I'm sure you've gained valuable insights so far. If you've not been taking notes, maybe you want to chat somebody and say, please, can you borrow me your notes or can you share your notes with me? Because see, the kind of things that I've been dropping here, guys, I am sure that if you actually take action with them, I give you 90 days. 90 days being between now and March next year, we'll be having amazing. Notice I didn't say it must happen at the end of March. I say within now and March next year, you'll be buzzing us with amazing testimonies of career changes, career transformations, and how you've improved the level of your life. All right, so very quickly, we're moving to the next thing on our agenda, and that's the panel session. This is where you get to ask all the questions that you've been planning to ask. So to take us further than that, I would like to welcome back both of our speakers, Mr. Emmanuel Tarfa and Ms. Temi Olaniyan. In this session, they'll be sharing amazing insights. This session is about the real stories behind the beautifully crafted LinkedIn profiles you see, right? This is them telling you how it happened, the times when they were bawling their eyes in tears when they faced the challenges and how they navigated them. And to help us moderate this session is none other than our convener, our own senior pastor. Sometimes in this kind of gatherings, I struggle. Do I call him pastor? Do I call him Mr.? Right. So yeah, Pastor Mr. Akinsulire Akinwande, thank you very much. You can take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sometimes too, I'm wondering what I should call you, because Allah is also one of our associate pastor, at the Chosen Bridge Church, and he actually leads a lot of our initiatives, including the campus outreach work that we do. So it's really been a pleasure hearing from you. And thank you so much, Emmanuel. Oh my God. Thank you for the amazing session. One of the things that I tell people is that when you're starting your career, maybe one of the best places to start your career is in management consulting. And maybe not with the ones that have grown so much, strength in, different practice or specialization, but where it's a boutique management consulting firm where you can have get your hand dirty, on so many things. And I think that's one of the things that we actually shared, in common. And maybe you even joined at a time that is even more raw, but of course, building the foundation, the frameworks, and all of that was really very interesting. And Temi, thank you. I mean, I was just like, give it to them, just give it to them, just because this is what we need, right? Those insights and particularly around the skills and career paths that are not so common, right? And the clue around what they could pick up and do, in the immediate. I think this is really, really amazing. Thank you both. Now I'm looking out for you guys' questions. I can't find questions here in the chat. I can't find questions here yet in the chat. So please you can use the Q&A session preferably, But while you're doing that, uh, Temi, are you there? Please confirm you're there, just to be sure. Let me just start with Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you were talking about, yeah, super. Oh, okay. Okay, Timmy, you're somewhere there. Okay. All right. So, we're talking about, the personal plan. I wanted to just quickly shed light on, so looking at it from the perspective of people now wanting to plan their career in 2026. We've got guys that are really stuck, they struggle with managing their time, struggle with managing so many things, right? And you've given a very, very interesting twist to how they can think about it. And I believe that some are also thinking that, okay, maybe that cream that I stopped using, let me go and use it so that maybe I can leverage the pageant side of me to win big in 2026, But I want to just quickly shed quick light on, what are the simple steps that anyone can take, to have a better career in 2026 in terms of what they can do in the immediate,
Okay. So thank you very much, Akin and Pastor Akin. And and great to meet you, Madam Temi. Really enjoyed your session. Now, the thing is, I deliberately spoke like that because I knew the other speaker would likely go into the details. So I didn't want to go and repeat because I would have said some of the things, but it was important to pick an area. And I wanted to speak to the area of, the things I mentioned. And I like the way he complemented, But I want to highlight that there are two groups of people that I want to look at. The ones that know exactly what they want and the ones that don't know what they want. The ones that know exactly what they want, maybe because they stumbled into it or just are passionate about it. It's the things I recommended are fine. Just go deeper. Mentors cut the chase. I mean, you see that with a mentor, you just take like scissors and cut errors, deliver you from errors, right? The issue is that we don't have, some people will have one mentor, some have two. There's a mix and a balance, and they should cover your weaknesses because we all have weaknesses. Some people, your mentor is just to drive you nuts to get your job done. Some other people, your mentor is just there to technically school you. Some of your mentor is there to be your soft skill coach. Some of your mentor is just there for admiration. I can go on and on, but that helps, right? And young people need mentors. Your pastor, respectfully, is one. You need others. So that balance, the multitude of counsel, there's safety. These are little things we want to popularize that are important. Then, of course, all the other things I said, and I've sent you the ebook. You can forward it to the group if you find it good enough and so on. But in terms of the group, people that don't know what to do, which is where I like what the speaker was saying, is whatsoever you find your hand to do it well. In other words, you start somewhere and figure it out in the path of where we're going. But at least the key thing is you need to succeed. I'm sorry to quote Bible, right? But the Bible says Joseph was a prisoner, but he was a successful man. How can you be a prisoner and be a successful man, for goodness sake? Like, if I told you now that I was accused of rape, you guys won't invite me. You guys won't even send me. They just blackmail me. No. But this is a guy that was in prison, and they still call him a successful man. So the problem is, what are you doing? You understand? I call you quickly, help me. We're organizing an event, the bridge, put this together. You did it like, say, we're paying you $1 million. Excellent. But everybody's waiting for that big opportunity, that big break. The breaks are every day arranged in front of us. Go and give your brothers food on the field. That was the breakthrough. No, I'm not ready. I'm writing psalms. I'm writing hymns. You can't send me on errands. Please, I'm focused. Now, Goliath did that. They wait for you to kill him. So I like to go on this other side, and I'm doing it deliberately because I said critical thinking, problem solving, all of them, we did drum. And when they go see them. But these soft issues that I'm highlighting for me is whatsoever you lay your hands to do. I made a couple of people who were telling me they're struggling financially, blah, blah, blah. Let me say something very radical. And this is me. I'm sorry. No apologies on this one. You can't afford to get the money to go and take the certification. With all due respect, go and do house help work. You heard me. Go to Banana Island, they'll pay 150,000 and you sleep in a room with AC. You may even travel business class because you have to babysit the children. Do it. Yes, be a professional at it. Join the agency. I have a lot of them in Lagos now that have come in from parts of Nigeria to raise money to finish their school fees or to pay off their training that they did, tailoring and all that. Now, that's extreme for somebody, but I know people who have done it, including very popular people that you know today. I don't want to mention names, but that's how they got their bread. So they don't want to sell their bodies. That's their seed capital. Now, for those who can't do that, then what they can do is they begin to, join church, okay, join media team, following the guy doing the media team, shadowing him, stay till 6 p.m., follow up, just jump on the opportunity. So what I really want to emphasize, sir, is that seed breakthrough, that initial jump off, which the other speaker highlighted very well. Just look at the plethora of options, pick it, succeed at it. When you succeed and you see road, then you now decide, okay, whether you want to be, whatever else later on. But at least you cannot be idle and your hands can't be tied. Let me stop there.
Thanks. Thank you. Thank you so much. Those are very easy, quick win steps that any serious person can really take. And I mean, to be candid, I once walked into a restaurant and the waiter, that came to attend to me. I mean, I was just looking at the guy's mannerism. We know that hospitality industry in Nigeria, their quality of service very poor. But I was like, this guy is kind of cut from a different cloth. What's going on here? I always want to engage people when when I have the time like that. And so I just went forward that to engage. Then I discovered that this chap was actually doing his master's degree in Unilag. And he had to be working as a waiter. And you know what it means to be a waiter? You're cleaning the plates, you're cleaning the table, cleaning the oil, getting, Nigerians could be very rude sometimes, getting all of the insults. But the guy was very calm, just very different. But he was raising good money, to be able to further his education and to get his plan off the ground. So yes, whatever we need to do, we need to do. I once went to learn barbing though, went to learn how to cut hair when I felt I needed money. That was a few years into my uni. I was like, no, I don't want to be waiting till anybody send me money. I need to equip myself to be able to take control of my economy. So absolutely spot on. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to throw this question to Temi. I see Anoluwapo, you have your hand raised. Okay, let's quickly take Hanu's question then. We'll move again. Hi, Hanu.
All right. Hello. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the session so far. I've really learned a lot. And my question is with respect to the question Temi asked during our session when she was asking those who were entrepreneurs and those who were career people who are doing 9 to 5. However, I'm someone who does 9 to 5 and I'm will I say I'm a very restless person in the sense that I can do a lot of things. I can combine a lot of things. As I do my 9 to 5, I take on gigs, I do things. However, it's festive period and I'm someone that can be creative with gifts. I can help people to do things. You can tell me I need gift ideas and immediately I come up with things, suggestions and the like. So I started a business. I'd done the flyer, I'd posted it. I'd spoken to friends and they're like, I know you do these things effortlessly, so you can do it. However, I just became scared because I had a lot on my plate. And I was like, how do I divide this? So I just want us to, I don't know, I think I need direction with probably how far I can go with my capacity. Sometimes I think I handle enough and I'm like, I know you can't do it. And however, I see a lot of people doing a lot of things and I'm like, how do they do it? I can do it. If people are doing it, I can do it. So I just want to learn a lot about, and then sometimes I'm like, why not just focus on your career? You have a career, you have gigs. Then why are you still being over ambitious, or would I say, why are you being greedy? You want to make more money, you want to go into business. I just want clarity. So I started the business, and at the point I stopped posting because I felt I had the fear of failure. Like, would I be able to deliver? I'm doing a lot already. Only for a friend to reach out to me and say, okay, I'm in Akure, as far as Akure to Lagos. I have a package for you. I want you to deliver. And I was like, okay, maybe I should start posting again. Maybe I should start again. I just want clarity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Anu. I think our facilitators got your question. How do you balance it? Is it worth it? Where should you put your focus? Advice and guidance, around that. I would like both of you to actually speak to that. Your perspective could be aligned, it could be whatever it is, but I would like to get your thoughts around both because both of you've shot in the same in these two directions. So Temi, do you understand?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know what that looks like, practically speaking. I think the curse and the blessing of somebody with many talents is, sometimes misdirection. But I think that there are skills, and that's why I really love what I want to call you Pastor Emmanuel, because you were just like going in like you were coming from pastor perspective, and I love what you were saying about like at every stage of your life, you have to know what skills and what, like training materials you need in order to scale up. So for you now, the way that I think about you is you're successful in many different areas. So maybe what you need right now is start to hone your leadership skills and start to think about how you can delegate. Okay. So you have all these different things because again, like the biggest entrepreneurs in the world, what you're doing is not foreign to you. The biggest entrepreneurs in the world they're chain entrepreneurs, like they're doing different multiple businesses at the same time. So what you're starting is not something new. What I would start with you is don't compare yourself to other people. Try and make sure that you're also taking what you can bite and chew per time. Be very, very succinct about what it is that you want to do. And I think obviously we're in a place where we're spiritual as well. I think it's also important that you ask God for direction so that you're not just going in different directions. So that's the spiritual component of that. But practically speaking, how you want to think about your life right now is what are the three things that are most important to you? Now, practically speaking, some of us, money is most important to you in your life right now. That's what you need. Some of us, we need time. You need to spend time with your family. So maybe it's not money as much. For another person, you need skills that can allow you grow, leadership skills, all of these different skills that all these businesses that you're doing will give you. So you have to think about what are, like, out of those three things, what's the thing that's most important in your life right now? And then look at all of the talents that you're honing and think about which one gives you gives you the most of what it is that's important in your life right now. Does that make sense? So for example, if you're at a point right now where maybe you're getting married, you have kids, time is probably what you need with your children. This is not the time to be spend and be, again, that's what I just think. Maybe time is what you need. So you need to think about what will give you time to do what you're doing. And that's where you can now start thinking about, okay, what can I let go? What can I deprioritize? What can I delegate to someone else? You don't have to do everything. You can hire people that you can train that can work on some things that you're doing and then scale from there. And then before you know it, you're overseeing multiple businesses with people that you've trained enough. So just to recap, make sure you're not comparing yourself with other people. Don't bite more than what you can chew. Ask for spiritual guidance. Think about what are the three most important needs in your life right now. And what is that, what's the source of everything that you're doing right now that can allow you to achieve that most important thing, and then start to hone your leadership skills and think about how you can delegate. Hope that helps.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Emmanuel, please.
Yes, I wanted to weigh in on this. It's a very interesting challenge. Like Temi said, I'm not a pastor. Seriously, I'm not. But I don't have other references I can pull from beyond the one I use, which is a good thing, by the way. But I wanted to highlight that for the lady that just spoke, three things. Number one, in line with what Temi said, you have to be careful. All these other calls they're calling you, I hope it's not 5K profit, 10K profit, 20K profit, 100K profit, 500K profit. Maybe we can start talking depending on your current income. So you also need to be careful who is pulling you in what direction for how much. So sorry again, I'm going there, but look at David. He was a psalmist, he was a warrior, he could play instruments. What did he end up becoming? The greatest king of Israel. So you want to always remember the short purpose. And honestly, the easiest way is what Madam Temi said. Just go and ask God, say I'm going to be king one day. Hey. Then all the things you're meandering to learn and to do, keep taking them up as good challenges in line with what she's saying. But here's what I want to say. I don't usually respectfully, I don't personally, it's my opinion. I'm not really a fan of career people that don't ace it. Right? It's very important to ace it when in the office I'm number one. So don't be, 2 or 3, 50%, 70% like this. Like you need to be indispensable and exceptional. So if you need to focus, because once you succeed at it, it breaks you through to your next level. That's why you can rise to be executive director. Steve Ballmer, Microsoft's former CEO, was an employee, but he's among the top 10 richest men in the world. He was an employee. And he has a basketball club. He can sponsor any initiative. He can, when we all need money for missions, as it were, we need to succeed at something at scale. Everybody now wants to call Yaboyaji into everything you're doing because I've done it. But if you was spread 200, 300, and I remember when I met him in the early days of Andela, I mean, you to even get the appointment, and you could tell no sleep, completely immersed until it breaks through. Your other proclivity skills here and there, if they complement and support what you're doing, great. But be careful of distractions because you don't want to wake up one day and just when everybody just took a piece of you and you did not really, really break through at something really big and amazing. So that's my recommendation. You have to be exceptional. And that's what I tell every young person. If you're anything less than exceptional is unacceptable, especially in a world with there are too many problems. And if you're not fulfilled where you are in work, then transition to where you will be able to demonstrate your exceptional skills. Thank you. I hope
Wow.
that helps.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. I saw someone's hand up. I think it was testimony. Testimony, you had a question that we can take. Let me see. Testimony. I can't find him on the call anymore. But anyway, I'm just going to quickly, because we're pressed for time now. Your last thoughts, your final thoughts, to, what's that highlight that you have loved to share that you didn't get a chance to share because of time, just in a minute. Knowing fully well that these are young people, they love God, passionate about God. When I mean young, not exactly like young youth like that, but maybe less than, majority around 25 to like 35, what would be your parting thought to them? Oh, okay, I see a very quick question now. It says, I work in customer care and I'm interested in transitioning to product management. What skills or steps would you recommend to make that move? Yes. We can have a more tailored conversation around this. We can share, specific skill sets that you need, on this. But just quick parting shots, from both of you to send everyone into 2026, an accelerated career in 2026. What would be that parting words? Anyone can go first.
Okay.
Ladies first, or Emmanuel, you want to go? Yeah, Temi, please
Because
go
I
for it.
spoke last, so let me know if I spoke.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I can go. I'm not just trying to just repeat the words of Mr. Emmanuel. Mentorship is powerful. Like if I got the chance to just say one thing on this call, and I like that he mentioned, like we were just at the same wavelength, and I'm not just saying this. I like that he mentioned non-celebrity mentorship. And don't just follow with, and I'm glad that, and I'm saying this from my heart, follow with a heart of service. If you have a mentor that you have the opportunity to have face-to-face time with, find out how you can serve them. You see, this thing that they call Elijah to Elisha is not just a ministry thing. It works in career. And I'll just share one story in 1 minute. I had the opportunity, when I started my data privacy career, I came in from engineering. And God just happened to link me up with a mentor at the time. She was almost becoming a partner at Deloitte at the time. And God knows I served that woman. I mean, things that I did that you don't do in America, like, you carry people's bags, you help them with their food. Everybody's like, are you not doing too much? Me, I knew what I was doing. And I don't say this pridefully. This person, when I was at consulting, I was just a consultant. She was partner level. There was a time where they would invite us to meetings with VPs and C-suites, and they would say, Temi or this person, not two of them in the room. Like she didn't realize how much I sat from her, that I got to a point where when I spoke, and it's funny because I have a Nigerian accent, right? She's American. when I will speak on the call and people will say, is that Tanisha? And I've called her name now. She's my mentor. She knows herself. I love her so much. Find somebody that has something that you want. Go and serve. Don't let anybody deceive you and all this one man success. It doesn't work. Get somebody, serve them with all your heart. This person wasn't always the best. I didn't like everything they did, but get somebody, serve them, look up to them, pray for them, do whatever you can do, get that mentorship. And honestly, it goes up from there. So for anyone who's here, you are looking, and I like how he said it, like, these are people that are sometimes not on social media. They're not popular people. Everybody wants, I don't know, Steve Jobs or somebody to mentor them. You don't need that. You go and look for somebody in your church that's doing great in their career, doing good. Go to their house. Can I babysit your kids? Before you know it, mantle has been passed on to you, career mantle. And I know exactly what I'm talking about. And those are going to be my parting words for you. I hope that really helps somebody.
Thank you. Clock it. Emmanuel, please.
Fantastic. So, Temi, we have the same spirit, like in terms of this issue. I totally agree with you. And Akin, I'll say something, and thank you for this opportunity to be here. But I'll tell you guys, the way we're learning is broken, and it's like, and that's why I'm being paying attention to I won't say learning science. Don't worry, it's the way people learn. It's not hard. That's why I talked about pastors. There's a very popular man of God that came from the backside of the north. That is the most popular person on YouTube, pastor, and he's not on YouTube. Right? Like, he doesn't own his own account. This thing is not. And if you listen to the stories in between, if you go to where they started, you will not believe something good can come out of that place. Everybody here is in Lagos, Lekki, Yaba, VI. The point is, sit down. Like, don't. And these are some of the things we did then when we were in school. We sat down, and that gift of sitting down, putting your head down, read a complete book, good book, right? Imagine you read it. You now read it once, you read it twice, you read it 3 times. Some of my habits, when people look at me and they say, some of you don't know that I devoured CNN. When I was still like a young man, anyways, we'll sit down and watch Return Quest. Back to back, Aman Paul, Farid, listen carefully. They will bring World Economic Forum boss. They will bring IMF boss. What do you think? They'll bring a Harvard professor. What do you think a Harvard professor is going to come and say on TV? He's going to say rubbish. He's going to come and talk his best now. But it's just the cost of your DSTV. That's all. So nobody has the ability to mine, MINE, mine. Go in. Brr, we finished. I finished my Bible in 10 days. Okay. And what next? But you want to sit down and say, this book, I'll read it 5 times. And I do those things. So there's a program like The Platform, organized by Covenant. You want to go into politics, I will listen to every episode of Platform, whoever the speaker, boring or no boring, from beginning to the end, 3-4 times. Meditate on this thing day and night. I have podcasts. If you open my podcast, my Apple podcast, there are just 5 podcasts. It's deliberate. Why Combinator? Because we're building a startup. I added this one recently, an AI whatever, because AI is the future. BBC.com, and then BBC.com Global News Podcast, and then BBC Business Podcast. Why? Macroeconomics, keep my terms in order, know what's going on in the world, because that determines what happens in localities. Few sources. Keep your sources few, but consistent. Keep your sources few. Few means not too much breadth. Few. This year, I'm only listening to 3 men of God. Shikena. The other ones, if I stumble, if I'm led, no problem. But for now, let me finish them, beginning to the end. But binge, you show up. You don't know, let me not say anything insulting. But you get my point, right? So I've shared the material, Pastor. Please share with them. It has all the stuff I would have said. I prioritize the speaking to things that are not written down. And then mentorship. Mentors will cut the chase. A good combination. They will now start helping you along the lines of what you become. But more importantly, just be prayerful. You'll be okay. Cheers.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I decided that we have this session before I take my own final session, so that we can take as much time, with you guys, as much as possible. And thank you so much, Dr. Emmanuel Tarfa. Let me expose you, you know, and my
Thank
darling
you.
sister. I respect both of them a lot, and I'm really happy that I'm able to get both of them to headline this very first edition. And of course, we're still going to be bringing them back to our community to share, to spend more time, with every member of the community. I'm going to be giving you more hints about the community just in a short while. But thank you so much for this beautiful session. We're going to connect back very soon. So I'm just going to dive quickly into my own session. I'm just going to share my screen shortly for everyone to see. Share screen. Okay. I'm really going to be very fast. You know, uh, let me confirm I have the screen up. Can you confirm you can see my screen now? Is everything in order? Everything is on. Okay, great. Super. So I'm just going to be speaking from the spiritual edge. We've heard, the two amazing speakers give some nuggets on how you can accelerate, your career, and one thing you can also see from their conversation, it's the golden thread of, they having some sort of, uh, relationship with God, even though it doesn't come off as, as pastoral, it doesn't come off as something very deep, but these are people that have close relationship with God. Because you see, you can be on a career trajectory and you do everything that you need to do. You put in all the hard work, you put in all the effort, right? And you could still be stopped somehow. You could still be stopped somehow. I listened to, one of the mentors that I respect a lot. He said something. He said one of the things that everyone should be concerned about, it's the atmosphere that you carry, because things as simple as a chatter, people just, even though you've done everything. So imagine the person that they consider the overzealous person, in the organization. But some people that don't like him or that feels that he or she is a threat, as far as a more senior role is concerned, can decide to start a chatter, about how bad this person is. Maybe there's something that the person has said and they begin to use it against the person, and that's evolved into a major negative impression that some decision maker could have about that person. But how do you handle chatter? It's by the Spirit of God that you can take care of chatters. The Bible says that when the way of a man is pleasing to the Lord, it makes even his enemies to be at peace with him. So there is a dimension of God that really contributes to our acceleration on this our part. God is not the God that sponsors indolence. He's not that God that's sponsors laziness. The Bible says that not being slothful in your business, but you're also fervent in the spirit, you're serving the Lord. And that's why this is really, really very imperative. Of course, you're going to be getting to know me more, particularly those that are currently not a member of our community, and understand the different parts, that God has really helped me. God has really helped me with. I've been privileged to work, with organizations with multinational footprints. I've been privileged to, make impact across 12 countries, significant impact of that. I've received commendations, from ministers, from government officials of different countries, different awards, but I cannot write my career story without the place of God. That's just the truth. Hala was trying to put it mildly when he was mentioning about my background. Actually, I graduated from school with a third class degree. Yeah, I studied applied geophysics, graduated with a third class degree. With a third class degree, not because I wasn't bright, but with a third class degree because I was really frustrated by the lecturers that we had there. I mean, I was that person that got to school with enthusiasm. I was going online. Then there was limited internet access. People that even had internet tickets were not using it. I was getting tickets from my friends. I was studying Encounter, going online to Society of Exploration Geophysics website to gather as much insight as I could get on geophysics, and building on all of those knowledge was what I thought I was going to do and build out some things in the oil and gas industry. But the contradiction between what I was expecting and what I was getting was very significant. So at some point I just lost interest in it and decided that maybe I needed to even explore deeper to know what I'm cut out for. And it was from campus that I discovered my passion for business, for entrepreneurship. Saying that I went to learn how to cut hair at some point. That was one of the foray, on campus. The first digital registration I was going to start up in Futa, I was one of those that, started that as a service, back then in Futa. I had my first degree in Futa, but essentially what carried me all through this phase was the solid relationship that I was able to build with God. And coming out of school, I had certain clarity, which is what I really want to speak to you about. One of the very important thing I want to speak to you about today. Are you just pursuing a job title, or you really have an identity? Do you have an identity that is linked to your purpose? Because sometimes one can just be going around beating about the bush, try to do everything and every possible thing without really having clarity into the specifics that you are called out to do. And I think it's one of the privilege that I enjoyed with my close relationship with God. I was able to discover quickly that, number one, I'm that guy that's really passionate about engaging people. So why should I take a job that makes me spend, almost 70% of my time in a year offshore, trying to explore oil and just discussing with the same set of people that we onboarded the ship together for 3 months or maybe even longer? I realized that just wasn't, what I was called out for, because I saw the stirring in my heart about that, about being able to engage people, support them to develop and grow what they have, and also, most importantly, helping them just become the best version of themselves, or becoming the best at whatever it is that they're doing. And that was how it started out for me. So I was quick to discover my purpose, and that now informed the choice of my career. It informed the choice of the opportunities that I was looking for, that I was taking on. So even when I left NYC and I was going to take my first job, it was really very, very targeted. I had opportunity to work with an oil company through, influence, of course. I had seniors. My elder brother was actually, an applied geophysics to he started applied geophysics from the same department, and he still practices today, and he had those connections. He wanted to pull me into it, but I didn't see that as, the next move that I needed to make, because I had learned that my worth was not necessarily going to be logged in the role or in the salary that I get. The first job I picked, I was getting 40K, as an intern. 40K as an intern. But it was really an opportunity for me to deepen my understanding and my depth in what I think was the primary thing that I really, really wanted to build. So there's a place of really knowing your purpose in God that will lead and guide you, and also orchestrate opportunities for you. So this is where relationship with God becomes very important, right? We've said it a lot of times, that the biggest advantage that anyone on earth can have that secures both their now and their future is that relationship, with Jesus. I think every one of us need to take it very seriously, because out of it now evolve a lot of other advantage. When you look at Daniel's was in Babylon. He was a stranger. He was a teenager. But the Bible says that it was 10 times better than his colleagues when they were tested. These were just young teenagers that were selected. The king asked that they be selected so that these people can be the one liaising, between the king and his men and their own people. So they taught them in languages, they taught them in sciences, they taught them in different area of study, and they tested them after, 10 days. And these guys were, after the period of learning, these guys were 10 times better than every other person because they had understanding, of purpose. So purpose must also lead us even beyond the paychecks. If you're getting a job that does not even give you opportunity to, to pray, you don't even have opportunity to even grow spiritually or to even develop yourself. You don't even have the chance to even learn and improve on your skills. Then that's really a tough call. You need to really review because sometimes it's not in the multitude of work that we do. It's about being specific, getting targeted direction, because as God's creature on earth, we've been given that ability to be God's representative, to steward the earth, right? To steward the earth. That's why you can confidently work in any organization, and no matter what they plan, what they try to do to you, they cannot overshadow you. They cannot overpower you. You will always come out, as the best. I remember when we did our analyst training program, with the first firm where I worked, out of I think about 8 of us, I was the one that was least qualified, and out of the 8 were just 2 that schooled in Nigeria. The others, University of Texas, University of Glamorgan, University of Bedfordshire, different foreign universities. So just 2 of us that schooled, in Nigeria. And out of the 2 of us that schooled in Nigeria, the other person, had a very strong 2-1, about 4.4 something, kind of 2-1. And I had it. I mean, the way God did it was such that I went through all the process. It was the final day that we're meeting with the managing partner that they asked that we come with our credentials. I don't know how they skipped it. I don't know how they missed it, but I was able to ace everything. And of course, the managing partner was like, this is the first time we're doing it. But I knew behind the scene that it was God working it. Because when I saw the adverts in Guardian, I had that impression in my spirit that this is the place I'm going to work and I should apply to it. So understanding that God has a purpose for you, understanding that God doesn't just want us to be chasing after money, He wants us to be custodian of money. So what you'll be earning from the job that you're going to be doing, it's a resource that God is blessing you with in order to make impact on earth. And that needs to drive your perspective to how you do your work. The second thing I'm going to touch on, I'm just going to touch on three things and I'm just going to wrap up. The second thing I'm going to touch on is the fact that, our standard is excellence. Our standard is excellence. As a believer, we must take our work as a form of worship to God. We must take our work as a form of worship to God. The Bible made it clearly in Colossians 3:23, it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for human masters. So what it means by implication is that your boss is not really your boss. Your boss can be your supervisor, can be your line manager, can be your employer, but the real boss is God. The real boss is God. And when you have the mindset that your real master is God, then you can see that no matter what you're doing now, no matter what you're earning now, if you do it faithfully, you're going to get reward from God. That's the thing about it. I tell people you can be on a job right now where you seem to be underpaid. It seems as if you're underpaid, but guess what? Give it your 100%. Give it your 100%. As you navigate the transition to getting a better job, ensure you give it your 100%. Right? The fact that we have God is not an excuse for mediocrity. It just makes it mandatory that we must become a master at what we do. We must become excellent, exceptional in what we do. There is no way I have worked that I have not had that thumbprint, that accolades of being excellent. And it's not because I just want to be getting an award for excellence, but because of the understanding that I have about who I am representing. Because you see, excellence is spiritual. Excellence is spiritual. Excellence is spiritual. There's some of us that we are believers, but we find it difficult to show that side of us at a workplace. You can't even be identified as being a believer because you know that God cannot identify with the kind of thing that you represent. He can't, he doesn't want to be associated with that. And you even try to, again, when you get the chance to be recognized for your excellent work, then you have the opportunity to open your mouth to say that God did it. God enabled me with grace to be able to achieve this, right? So God expects us to be excellent at what we do. Emmanuel talked about, Joseph when he was sharing about the fact that Joseph prospered, in prison. Right. First, we see him how he's dutiful, how he's diligent, in instructions given by his dad, and all of that. Then you see how he performed in Potiphar's house, committed. He wasn't stealing from his employer. Even when they had the cooperation of the second in command in the house, he wasn't still going to halai, form any halai that will be detrimental, to his work with God and service to his master. Then he got to prison, he still prospered, but ultimately, God was preparing him to be a prime minister in Egypt, which was not on any career path. There's no career progression track or seminar that Joseph could have gone to, and they will predict that, you see, the way you are going from pit to Potiphar's house, now you are in prison, your future is a prime minister. There is no career path mentor or coach that could have provided that. But you see, God had that master plan. God had that master plan. So it's important that as individuals that love God, we must be the most reliable in the room. We must be the most diligent in the room. We must be the most passionate in the room. We must be the most committed in the room. We must be the one that spreads enthusiasm, that spreads joy, irrespective of the situation. Irrespective of the situation. Irrespective of the situation. The last point I'm going to be stressing, it's on the strategy. Divine direction must be our strategy. Divine direction must be our strategy. You can do so much, playing on your own ad work. But beyond that, there is the divine direction that, when you get direction from God, it gives you a superior awareness. And based on that superior awareness, you are able to navigate situations better. So I put it as hard work plus Holy Spirit gives supernatural acceleration. Forget about people saying, oh, don't do hard work, you should look for smart work. No. See, hard work, within that hard work is smart work, but you must work hard. That's what hard work is. You must work hard. You must work hard. You see, Dr. Emmanuel Tarfa talked about immersing yourself into study. Immersing yourself in the study. My sister mentioned how you can identify a particular path that you want to switch into and really immerse yourself into developing, learning about that area, in order to make the switch. We need that hard work. But you see, the hard-done value that God brings is specific direction. So you can be looking at the arrays of all of these, these Goldmine skills, and you're saying, is it compliance? Is it cyber hygiene or cyber security? Is it data protection? Is it compliance? But the Holy Spirit can guide you on the specific that you need to go. It can guide you. So you see in the Bible how, David always inquired from God to get on anything. You see the wisdom that God gave to Joseph through the dream, interpretation of Pharaoh. You see the guidance that people that work with God enjoy. That kind of guidance is what I'm talking about. It can download plan, strategy, to you. There are so many times that, I just come into meetings and we're all confused the last time that we're trying to address an issue, but just spend time to just pray and just meditate. Even when I don't even have the specific answer while all of those things were happening, they just come into the meeting, and while we're just talking, then the inspiration will just come. And when we just land it, and it's just be exactly what we need to resolve the issue. It's really powerful building that relationship with God. is really, really powerful. And for us in the Chosen Bridge Church, this is really very integral to us because we believe that we need to deepen our work with God in order to strengthen our impact in the marketplace. We want to be leaders. We want to be those that achieve much. We want to be those that make a lot of impact. People ask me that, how did you land the project with Fuse? Your face is all over everywhere. You're on different, billboards all over Lagos and all of that. Earlier this year, I had to travel to Jordan, because a particular group in Saudi Arabia had invited me to be an innovation judge, and all of that. And I had to be physical. I mean, I didn't even know I was going to Jordan until, 2 weeks before then, got the invite from the office of the presidency and all of those things. These are things that you cannot calculate. It takes God working those things out for you. It takes God working those details out for you. So it's important that we really strengthen our relationship with God as we try to build our career, not building it outside of God. And I'm going to leave you in conclusion, with, these two important things. I've talked about identity, I've talked about excellence, I've talked about direction in God. But you must know that your ambition, when surrendered to God, becomes a vehicle for his influence. God wants people who are influential for him, people who are making impact for him in the marketplace. In fact, one of the interesting things about my team meeting of about 16 people now has become an opportunity to dig deep on concepts in the world. When I ask people to come and share their highlights for weekends, by the time they come on the Monday, they are talking about the impact that they make, the people that they encourage in God's word. They're talking about the service they did in your church. They're talking about, I'm just like, wow, when I took over this team some years ago, it wasn't like this. But now see how deep, how more aware of the things of God that the team has become. And all of these without, being called a pastor, at work. So we can use our vehicle to exert influence for the kingdom. We can go into different sector and become the spokesperson and become the representative of God in those sectors. But you see, we can only achieve that when we become reputable for the excellence that we bring, for the wisdom that we transmit, for the solution that we create, for the impact that we are able to make. That is when we become influential. So the challenge to you is that don't just build a career, build an altar in the marketplace. Become the carrier of God's presence in the marketplace. Become that person that they cannot gainsay the wisdom. Jesus told his disciples, says, I will give you a wisdom and a mouth that nobody can gainsay. Means that nobody can contend with you and win. The kind of wisdom that can come, nobody can contend with you and win. That's what God wants to do. And he wants to really showcase our life, to the world. And our commitment to you at the Chosen Bridge Church is to walk this journey together with you. We want to walk this journey together with you. And that's why we're not just launching this initiative today. We've created a group that we want you to join. We've created a group that we want you to join. And for this group, we're going to be providing tailored support to every member of this group. We're going to be providing tailored support. And when I mean tailored support, we're going to be sharing opportunities with you. We're going to be connecting you with mentors. We're going to be having series of this kind of sessions where you're going to be learning and deep diving into different areas, with you. I have the QR code for the group on the screen. Please kindly scan it to join the group right now. You can scan the QR code, to join the group right now. The group is open, so scan the QR code to join it. The link, I believe, will also be shared in the chat session for you to be able to get there. There are different tips, tricks, wisdom that God has vested in us over this year. I mean, you see the amazing people, that you've met today. You've met Miss Temi Olaniyan, she shared experience about how she's navigated her career, from Nigeria to the US, and how she rose to become, a leader at Meta. You know what it means to be a leader, at Meta, that's Meta, Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, Instagram. That's the parent company name is Meta, But you see how God enabled her, guided her, with wisdom to get to that position. You see Dr. Emmanuel Tarfa as well, how God has been with him. You see how much wisdom is exuding. I mean, all he could just do is just to give a tip, today. He's a bank of wisdom. All of those people are going to be continuously supporting, this community. And that is to mention a few. Emmanuel was referring to Inyaboyeji. Inyaboyeji is still going to come to speak to, to the group. All the people that you look around as celebrity and all of that, they are all, in my network. And I'm going to be pulling them to come speak, to the group from time to time, because the goal is to resource you so much that everyone emerging from this group become leaders across different sectors. So when we're saying that, financial services, either it's banking, insurance, fintech, the who is who in that sector in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, will be people in this community. When we're talking about oil and gas, when we're talking about logistics, when we're talking about healthcare, the who is who leading those community, leading those sectors will be from this, our community. That is our goal. That is our goal, such that we can decide from the community what the direction of our economy as a country will be. We can decide from the community, what direction of investment should be. We can decide from the community, how much we want to put into developing different, social sector within the country. That's how much influence that the community will be having for God, over economies. And not just limited to Nigeria. God will be shooting us as arrows into different areas, into different spheres. And this is what this is really, really about. So please scan the QR code to be part of the community. And you're going to be getting more details on how our activities and all of that is going to run. We are in Christ, for Christ, to make Jesus famous. That is what we are all about. That is really what we are all about. And we really look forward to you joining us in this community. In Jesus' name, I pray that God's wisdom will keep finding expression through you. This is my pastoral, side shooting out now. I pray that the wisdom of God to navigate this season, we are bound towards you in the name of Jesus. I pray you enjoy grace in everything that you do. And I pray for supernatural acceleration over your career in the name of Jesus. Beyond the things that we have seen, you will see and experience in the name of Jesus. God bless you. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. So I'm going to be handing over back to P. Haley.
Well, thank you very much, Pastor Akin. Thank you so much for helping us to tie all of that in. Guys, I believe you've had the ride of a lifetime today. We are practically about 15 minutes past when we wanted to, round it up, but I'm sure it's been worth your time. So the link has been posted in the chat room in case you're not able to scan because you're using your phone at the moment, right? Or you're using your device at the moment. Just tap on the link in the chat room right there, and then it will lead you straight to the WhatsApp group. In the coming hours and days, you'll begin to get communication from myself. I thought I was going to be able to introduce the leader of the community group. But I'm sure she's somewhere in the chat room. Simi Luluwa, she's in charge of our community efforts, right, at the Chosen Breed Church. But as you join, you get to experience more and more people. Simi has a growing career in the public sector, so do not think you can have a successful career in the public sector as well. And you'll meet a whole lot of others who have amazing careers. We have a leader in the She works with a pharmaceutical company, a multinational pharmaceutical company. She's a growth-centric personality, and you'll be excited to have engagements with her when you join in on the group. Akin Akinsulire. So, guys, please join, and let's make the most of this. Emmanuel Tarfa said something about the science of learning, and one of the things about the science of learning is the ability to learn continuously, especially within communities that are focused on what it is you are trying to gain insight on. So that's the reason why we've created this community, for accountability, for you to also gain courage from the experiences and learnings of others who will be in the same group with you. Remember, I said at the beginning, confusion can sometimes be communal. Clarity also can be communal, right? Even though it is primarily personal, you can draw some help and some insight. So as we wrap up today, I want to leave you with this. The world of work requires clarity, or rather rewards clarity, like you've learned today from all our speakers, from Mr. Emmanuel Tarfa, from Ms. Temi Olaniyan, and from our very own Pastor Akin Akinsulire. But clarity is rarely found in comfort. You heard Ms. Temi, you heard Mr. Tarfa talk about discipline, structure. You got to find some level of structure and rhythm for your life. Clarity is found in curiosity. Clarity is found in courage and your willingness to evolve, right? I believe that a couple of us walked into this room, this webinar session, this Zoom session as participants, but I believe that you're walking out, right, as a steward of your own growth. I say this to you, and I want to leave with this. You are responsible for your choices. You are responsible for the outcome of your life. Emmanuel Tarfa apologized a couple of times, saying, please, I might be extreme with this. Guys, your life is in your hands. Your life is not in your parents' hands. Your life is not in your lecturer's hands, who did not give you grades that would have given you a first class, or giving you grades that would have given you educational leverage to get a great career. Right now, your life is in your hands. Someone always said that we are all pencils in the hands of the Creator. Right now, begin to scribble your own story. You can begin to write your story. So it doesn't really matter if you've not figured out everything. What you basically need is courage, and I think that you've gained that level of courage, right, from the clarity you've gotten today. So, guys, let's cross to the other side. Let's cross to the other side of exciting results, of influential results, right? And in closing, I'd like to say a word of prayer. But then, if you are in Lagos, you reside in Lagos, and you reside anywhere around the Ikeja area, and you have been looking for a community where you can fellowship with people to worship God effectively, we have an amazing service that starts at 7:45 a.m. every Sunday and lasts for about an hour 45 minutes, thereabout. Almost 2 hours. We're through by 9:30, and then you can get on with the rest of your activities for the day. So just come join us tomorrow. Mr. Yemi Ade Fatade, could you please just help us post that? If we have a flyer that you can post on either in the chat room or display on the screen for people to see where our address is, and where we meet on Sundays. So guys, I'd just like to say a word of closing prayer with you as we go in the rest of today. Father, I ask for every professional in this room, every young person in this room, every individual in this room, those who have figured it out already, or those who are yet to figure it out, those who are trying to navigate through the intriguing world of work. Lord, we ask that everything that we've learned today, every insight we gained today, will be the fodder, will be the bedrock, will be the leverage, will be the inspiration that gets them onto the path of fulfillment in career and in their lives, in the name of the Lord Jesus. We ask that this will be a jumpstart onto greatness. This will be a push unto greatness in the name of the Lord Jesus. Let today be that marked day of purposeful progress for everyone in here, either early stage career people, mid-level stage career, or people looking to transit from career into enterprise. Thank you, Father, for your grace. We want to thank you for all our facilitators. We ask that you strengthen them and continue to inspire them to deliver more impact as they go on their journeys in life. We want to thank you and give you praise. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed and given thanks. All right, guys, I want to say a big thank you to you for joining the session today, the first installment of CareerBridge. We've got another one coming up pretty soon, sometime in the first quarter of 2026. But prior to that, the community will be our platform for disseminating information that will help to continue to accelerate your career journey. So, guys, don't stay far. Don't be strangers. You've now become family. I want to roll with you into greatness because we are an embassy of influence. So enjoy the rest of your day. I want to advise, if you're a football lover, maybe you want to avoid football today and go and ruminate on the things you did today. Or if you can, ensure to still, even if you must watch the matches, right? Ensure to still ruminate on all the lessons that were shared today. And look forward to hearing amazing testimonies and feedback from every one of us. Check your email box in about 45 minutes. We have an email waiting for you there. And please do well to action the email. Cheers, guys. See you on the other side of greatness.